put people in timeout for different links. Okay, thank you.
What?
For that.
What is the point?
Alright, let's see. That looks pretty symmetrical.
Howdy, everyone. We're just getting set up, so dude, whoever is here right now. Well, actually, nobody's currently waiting, but there was one person waiting. So,
I wore this in the thumbnail. I guess I'll bring it up for them.
Oh, what does that remind me of? We were with you in the beginning, and we'll be with you in the end, or something like that. I don't know what that's from. But anyway. Yeah, I guess that one episode was just crazy. The one episode that we live streamed for. What was it?
We've done 2 now.
Yeah, what was the first one with John though? What episode was that?
4.
Yeah, the one where
with Anakin at the end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What?
I was just trying to remember. I was like, it feels like it was like episode 2 or 3. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think. I mean, this episode still slapped in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Our friend Star Wars Theory, a lot of his chat was saying like 7 or 8. I think was the most common number.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I'd give it like an 8.5. I mean,
I could
the last
9,
episode
dude.
being a 10.
Yeah,
because I don't know, last episode can't be beaten, but I mean, yeah, I think it was really good, man. I think it felt. You said this while we were watching it. It felt very Clone Wars.
It did. Yeah, I don't know. They roll up to the planet. Is it Peridia? I think it's Peridia. Yeah, they roll up to the planet Peridia, and I'm like, dude, this is like, I don't know. It just reminds me. It just felt so Star Wars, dude. Like the music, the screen transitions, or like the classic Star Wars wipes is what they call them. It all felt very. It feels lore heavy. Like I feel like a lot of shows definitely lean into the lore a lot. Like these days, you got like House of the Dragon, and then the Lord of the Rings show, and then some other big shows like Marvel, I guess, like is pretty lore heavy. And I feel like Star Wars kind of strayed away from that for a little bit and made everything kind of surface levelly. But now they're getting back into the lore of it all, which I really enjoy. So yeah,
I think that was what was really interesting to me. This episode was like learning about a whole new galaxy, different creatures. I don't know. I think
the fact that Night Sisters still exist in that galaxy.
That was pretty cool to see. I mean, I guess have we never seen them in besides Morgan Elsbeth in live action?
No, we haven't. As far as I know.
I mean, we've seen them in Clone Wars for over a decade now. So.
Coontail and Rattlesnake says Frank says hi.
Hey, Frank.
What's up, Frank? Yeah.
Welcome back.
This is the only Frank that we know of, but we're more than willing to say hi to a Frank that we're not quite aware. So, hi Frank, how's you doing? Hi Coontail and Rattlesnake. My brother's here to make his weekly complaint that apparently the episode that he really thinks they should release all the episodes at once.
Weekly complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are doing that these days, so, I mean, I can see that argument, but at the same time, it gives me something to look forward to every week, so.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I understand it principally, but also I feel like it does keep me coming back, especially when the show is good. When it's like a show like She-Hulk, for example, like when you're actually having to struggle to watch it week to week. But, like, Ahsoka has left me on the edge of my seat almost every episode. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, I like that. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, even with shows that that we, didn't enjoy as much as this one, I feel like it was still good. So that way, like, I feel like I would get burnt out quicker, even if it was a show I didn't like, even more so, even maybe.
Yeah. That's true.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely a formula that works because Netflix does it. Well, a lot of other streaming services do it.
Yeah.
And it works, but I think this is working too. I mean, it's trending every week.
Yeah, I definitely like the weekly release that's scheduled. I think that's such a smart idea to where people can actually watch it when it comes out. But that's neither here nor there. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. If you have any questions or, things that you would like us to talk about, just let us know. For now, we kind of started off and we were waiting on people to join, so we're just going to talk about the episode. What do you think about it? Or what do you think about that, if you know what I'm talking about? Spoiler warning if you haven't seen it yet, which most of y'all probably have. But what do you think about that?
So yeah, I assume are you talking about Ezra?
Yeah.
I thought the reveal was sick. I just had a feeling that he was going to be connected to some local creature.
Yeah, you actually did call that. You thought the Howler was going to take was gonna take. No, it wasn't the Howler, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, you thought the Howler was gonna take Sabine to Ezra.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's actually a genius prediction for real.
Because he was kind of reminding me of the Lothwolves, but in a way he did because he met the what were they called, Noti?
Yeah.
And then Noti led him to Ezra, so that was cool to see. I mean, I feel like people might not like how they spent so much time on that, but I think that's Star Wars. Like, weird creatures.
Yeah, like crazy situations. Like it feels convenient, but like that felt very Clone Wars-esque to me. Yeah, like where she stumbles upon this like weird creature, and somehow, some way, they're able to understand like something through like the signet on her shoulder and the signet that Ezra had. They were able to like connect over that, and that just felt very like Star Wars to me. Just that dynamic between the creature and Sabine, and how they were able to lead her back to Ezra.
And it felt very Ezra too, like I mentioned, for him to be connected to a local creature.
Yeah. So, what'd you think about Ezra the actor, though?
I thought, dude, he looks good, man. Yeah. That's a good looking man.
Yeah, I think the beard fits him well. It reminds me of an Oscar Isaac type, like a younger Oscar Isaac type guy, you know?
Yeah, and it was cool to see. I mean, it makes sense that he would have a beard and long hair. But it was cool to see, man. And I think the other highlight for me this episode has to be my boy Thrawn, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thrawn was a machine, man. Like, and talk about, I mean, I guess for him it's literally a 1-to-1 transition from
same guy.
From animation to live action, but still, like, it's crazy how good of an actor Lars Mikkelsen is, and how like it just felt like I was watching Thrawn. It didn't feel like any discontinuation.
How cold he is, dude. I mean, that's what Thrawn's just very tactical and cold. And that's what I got in this. I mean, he's very, very intimidating, even though he's not like in your face intimidating.
Yeah, exactly. He's just cunning. I think that's the best way to say it. And he's like, especially when they discover that Ahsoka is coming out of hyperspace, or about to come out of hyperspace, when the Night Sisters do. And he's like, if you see a space whale drop out of hyperspace, kill it with, what do you say, kill it with prejudice or something like that?
Yeah, and then he also wanted to learn, like, everything about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. He's like, even her master, which is a little, Anakin slide in there. I always love to see that. But
Definitely love to see a good Anakin slide, for sure. What'd you think about Shin Hati and
you already know what I think, brother.
Yeah, and Baylan Skoll. What'd you think about their we got to learn a little bit more about them this time.
I feel like this is the most we've seen, especially Baylan. We got a little hint of his background here and there in this episode, which was awesome to see. But I feel like it's hard not to think about Ray Stevenson passing away.
Yeah, because, for sure.
I mean, his character, though, is incredible. I mean, one of the best villains in a long time, I feel like. Maybe since Thrawn?
Really? Yeah, I could definitely give him that. He still has that sense of mystery to him, I would say, which makes his character way more appealing, I think. And we still don't know exactly what happened. We know he was involved with the Order and the downfall. We know that he saw it, and we know that he learned from the past, right? But we still don't know what exactly happened, like whether he was a master or an apprentice. Like, we're not really sure. So, and I think that's good, because I'm hoping we get to see that at the very end, maybe. But it also sounds to me like he has his own motivation, too, now.
Yeah, that was kind of a big thing. He kept saying to Shin, like, can you feel it? We still don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
They're kind of hinting at, like, them taking over the new galaxy.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see where that goes.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a blank slate for them now, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if we've ever really seen kind of anything like that in Star Wars, where we've kind of got a blank slate for them. But I'm definitely really excited to see where they go with him and Shin, for real. We don't have any concurrent viewers, so we can kind of just chill until people join. So
yeah, I think Thrawn had to be. How about Enoch, dude? What was he like?
Dude, he was like a what do they call him? The no, what do they call them?
What?
Shadow Trooper? The night, like the troopers. What are they called?
What troopers? There's lots of troopers.
The stormtroopers. What are they called? Like you know what I'm talking about? Am I tripping?
I wouldn't know what you're talking about, but maybe
like the stormtroopers. They have a different name now. They're not like humans.
Yeah.
Shadow Trooper. I don't know. It's something like that. Anyway, what about Enoch? Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought he was sick, dude. I feel like we'll learn more about him maybe in the next. What is there only 3 episodes?
Coontail and Rattlesnake's so confused. It just, yeah, I don't know. Do you know what they're called? I'm not really sure what they're called.
Yeah.
I forgot the name. I don't know why.
But. Yeah, but Enoch, I guess, was like their general. So that was cool to see. I mean, he I feel like he's gonna be a beast.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna play into it more than I initially thought because he's an interesting character already to me. Like a mechanized stormtrooper.
Yeah, I like that. I like the new kind of army. It feels different than what we've seen so far. So whatever the heck their name is, but it feels different than what we with like the normal stormtroopers. Hopefully they have some kind of skill. But it does make me wonder though. In 2 episodes, they've got a lot to do. They've got a lot to take down. Like Sabine, Ezra, and Ahsoka have a lot to destroy, I guess.
Yeah. We didn't even see Ahsoka the last 20 minutes, so...
Yeah.
Which makes sense. She's traveling, so there's only so much they can do inside of a whale.
I guess make her go faster. Maybe the whales travel faster than the hyperspace ring or something. Could be something like that. But
yeah, that's true. They probably do.
But it just makes me wonder because I feel like they've set it up kind of nicely though.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a lot of intrigue going on, but they still have time. I mean, 2 episodes. Hopefully they're like at least this long, like the past couple have been. And we'll be cooking, dude. Dave will be cooking. He wrote the whole season, so it's going to have continuity no matter what, really.
Yeah, I think the decision to bring back Ezra pretty early, like earlier than we would have normally thought, is a smart idea because now he will feel less like an interjected cameo and more like an important character of the story. And that kind of makes me happy. So
yeah, because, I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because we were originally thinking like Ezra might just appear at the end. And be like, wait for season 2 type.
Yeah.
Thing. But now it seems like, dude, he had a whole army and he's ready to just take down get back to our galaxy and take it down, dude.
Yeah, him and Thrawn got it's weird. Like Ezra made friends and Thrawn made friends too in the new world.
Yeah, I hope we still can, I guess, see some of like what Ezra was up to, or maybe in like a future project. More so focused on Ezra because I think it would be interesting to see what he was doing all this time because he had to be on the run the whole time, like you said. And Thrawn, I mean, it kind of reminds me of Quantum Mania with Kang.
Yeah, how he like made the most of it while he was like in the quantum realm, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me. And Janet would be like Ezra.
Somebody or Coontail and Rattlesnake said, I feel like for it being live action, Dave's done a good job at giving Clone Wars feel as well as OG Star Wars. Yeah, we definitely agree with that.
Oh yeah.
I especially this episode, it did feel very Clone Wars-esque to me. Like it felt like a droid Clone Wars episode. Because like I feel like it's always 3PO and R2 that stumbled upon some random creature that helped them. But what was the episode that I was telling you about? Wasn't it the Jedi?
Lost Jedi or something?
No, it's called Jedi Crash. Yeah.
Jedi Crash.
Where Anakin almost dies on the Venator, and like force pushing the door and then he like gets destroyed by it. But they discover that village and then the Separatist is testing a weapon there. It kind of felt like that where like Ahsoka has to befriend this like little I want to say they're called, I don't know what they're called.
That sounds familiar. That rings a bell in my head.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't remember the dude's name. I just watched Clone Wars recently too. Anyway, it felt very similar to that to me, but
yeah. So yeah, I agree with you there. It felt very, very Clone Wars, and love to see it because that's our favorite show of all time.
Oh yeah, for sure. What was your favorite moment, Coontail and Rattlesnake? I think. What was your favorite moment?
Dude, probably when Thrawn walks up originally.
Yeah.
And that music was going hard as crab.
Yeah. That was pretty insane. I think my favorite. I thought Ezra was going to come back. I thought that would be my favorite. No, we're lagging. Or with Huyang. Like, so I think we're good. or early with Huyang and Ahsoka whenever they're talking about the old stories of the Jedi Temple, and kind of we get to see how Balin also relates to that in a way too. But I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's a good point with Balin because we talk about like Ahsoka and Huyang's past kind of, and then shortly thereafter we talk about Balin's past. So that was, yeah, that's a pretty cool parallel, I think.
Yeah.
And I still think we might see some flashbacks or something because he's been very mysterious, but I think they're going to reveal, like they have been as we go on, more and more.
And I do think that they've done a smart thing by separating, like toward the end of the episode, they send Shin Hati and Balin Skull to chase after Sabine in case she finds Ezra. And Thrawn's like, whatever, if we leave them too, it's not really a big deal. And I think that's smart because that no longer makes Balin the big bad anymore. Like he's kind of like a mid-tier boss fight before you get to the big guns. Not that Balin's like a mid-tier villain, but just like
also,
Thrawn is the big guns for sure.
I feel like this is possibly setting up a turn of sorts.
What do you mean?
For Balin and Shin or one or the other. For them, like when they meet Ezra, maybe they'll fight and then be like, Thrawn's the real guy here we need to be after or something. But it also seems like that Balin and Shin don't even want to leave, so, or at least Balin. Shin's kind of on the fence, it seems like.
Yeah, I think she's kind of struggling with it right now, which I think is a good idea. Like, I think it's good to add some tension between them, but also I hope she doesn't just turn on him at the end. That would feel kind of cheap to me. Like I hope I hope they die a villain's death because that's what they were built up to be. Like I think we've seen a lot of some like villain redemption stories, and I don't know if I really want to see that. To me,
I don't know if they're really built up to be that.
Somebody said, or Coontail Rattlesnake said, Thrawn's entrance was pretty cool with all the Clone War or all the clones there too. That was a good entrance. Yeah, we definitely agree with that.
That was my favorite part too. That was awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. Just him. It kind of felt Darth Vader-esque, in episode 3 and 4, or not 3, episode 4 and 5 and 6. Every time we saw, him walking down the aisle and all the stormtroopers were saluting him. And you got Enoch, like we were talking about earlier, which is a very, it's weird, dude. It's just a weird, like, take on a stormtrooper. Yeah,
he's almost like a samurai, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. How did he happen?
Yeah.
If Thrawn is Kang, then Enoch is MODOK.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, no. I hope he's not like MODOK. Golly, man. Yeah, I can just think of how that would be, all the reasons that would be horrible.
Dude, the parallels are kind of in me, though. Because, like we said, they both got made the most of where they were at and built up an army. And then you have, like, a mechanized guy as his right-hand man. So
yeah, he says that threw me off a little bit. Yeah, that definitely, like, I was like... Because he was the only stormtrooper that had, like, an actual face. And so...
That's why it reminded me of a samurai.
Yeah, it did look like the...
It reminds me of something.
Like a...
Marvel movie. Maybe it's The Wolverine? Maybe.
The Wolf.
The 2013 movie.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. But, I don't know necessarily what you're referencing. But I do know the movie that you're talking about. Yeah, it threw me for a little bit, too. Not going to lie. But I was excited. Like, I'm excited to see a different type of army. Like, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like anything we've quite seen yet in Star Wars.
Yeah, I feel like Thrawn had to piece them together, but at the same time, he probably also has them like ready to go because he's Thrawn. He's the best tactical mind, and definitely in that galaxy, but probably also in the other one.
Yeah, whoever exists in that galaxy, I'm sure he's the best tactical mind there. But it looks like they're gonna go back to back to our old, I guess a standard galaxy, I guess, or the original
yeah, we don't
galaxy.
Have a name for it. It's kind of weird, but I guess
I'm going to call it the Milky Way. I'm officially coining that.
Earth is they're all along.
Yeah,
but I guess that makes sense. They never gave it a name.
He said they seem more elite, or that's what I gathered from their scenes. Yeah, I can agree with that. They do seem pretty like elite soldiers. Hopefully they're like on par with Death Troopers, maybe, or like not necessarily on par with Death Troopers, but they have some eliteness to them. Kind of like Gideon's new troopers.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to go down there? Is he going to come back to like an additional part of his army?
Dude,
because they were also preparing on Thrawn's return.
Gideon
was.
We've got 2 episodes. So, what could happen in 2 episodes where we could possibly bridge the gap?
Gus Fring, dude. Gus Fring could happen. He'd be like, I'm back, boys.
Yeah, Hector Salamanca couldn't, or it's Hector, right? Hector Salamanca couldn't kill me. I do think we could see something like that. It just feels like with 2 episodes, they have a lot left to do.
Yeah,
Not that's not a bad thing, but I think they've set it up so perfectly where it could go almost any direction and wouldn't feel rushed. And I think that's a good thing to have.
Yeah, and I'm hyped to see where it goes, man. I mean, is there a chance we see Gideon? Maybe.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't think anyone ever dies basically in Star Wars.
Yeah, you hope Cad Bane did.
Cad Bane, he's still alive. Tech's still alive.
Yeah.
Rest in
Echo
peace.
Still is alive.
Yeah, that's true.
We thought Echo died too. Oh, maybe that's hope for Fives, dude. Wherever Fives is at, I'm sure he's alive.
That's the one character I think is probably dead.
No,
him in '99.
Yeah.
No. But I think Gideon might return. I guess the leading theory is that Gideon was a clone, the one that died in the fire. So, because the whole thing didn't make sense. I think our friend Star Wars Theory broke that down a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe Gideon, he'll come back and Gideon will be there with those new Mandalorian troopers.
Yeah.
And that'll be kind of sick.
I would definitely. Oh, he said 99 is the samurai clone. Dude, imagine that. Dude, imagine that. In an alternate universe, 99 is the samurai clone.
Yo, that would be crazy, dude.
Dude, that would be. No, what if Fives was the samurai clone, man?
Either of them would be. Both of them were incredible clones.
Both of them would feel incredibly out of pocket, but would be amazing.
That would be. What if, dude? That's why I've been calling for Star Wars.
Dude, I've been saying, man, I think we've both been saying that Star Wars does need a what if series, because imagine an episode or a series where Anakin never turns to the dark side. What does the galaxy look like?
That brings up a good point though. Maybe like MODOK, Enoch is someone we've seen before, like in Rebels, a minor character by.
How would he gotten there though? I think is my question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
I think
maybe he just happened to be on a whale.
He was like an old Night Sister, like mercenary or something like that. And just got caught on the wrong whale or something. But I think it's interesting I think all of the troops are basically like undead Night Sister clone-ish things.
Yeah, because
they were talking about emptying the catacombs and moving them onto the Star Destroyer. Which I think that's just because that there's more army that they could have, and it looks like the grandmothers are going with them, or with Thrawn. So
yeah, and he said he needs to use their magic one last time.
Yeah.
And he's definitely been using it for something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably the army. But I just wonder how Enoch exists. I mean, he doesn't seem undead to me.
Yeah,
that's probably why he's the general. He's like actually something like maybe not a person, but like a machine.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we did see something similar with Darth Maul, where he was like half man, half machine. There for a while.
Yeah.
Not there for a while. He still was technically. Where we're at in the continuity, he's not alive, which is R.I.P.
Yeah, he's probably dead. He's dead too.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's alive in our hearts for sure. But so I'm thinking, I'm still caught up where I think they're gonna go from here. I think there's a lot of room to maneuver. I feel like we'll get to see a lot of Ezra, and I feel like we can see a lot of Ezra and Ahsoka and Sabine, and pretty much anything. I think at this point,
I'm ready for Ezra to cook, dude.
Yeah,
I want to see.
He better be a goat, dude. He better be a goat.
I want to see what he can do, man. I mean, he was already a beast before, but like I feel like, especially what Balin mentioned, with like he felt something there in that galaxy or in that planet, so. I feel like Ezra just going to be in tune with the Force, dude. Be a beast.
Yeah. Hopefully. So. What if he was calling, like, using that as, like, a beacon or something like that and trying to, like trick them into coming? Or something like that?
Yeah, that crossed my mind, too.
I don't know if Balin will fall for that. But I think it'll be really interesting to see if we do get to see Balin and Shin catch up with Ezra. I mean, I would love to see a Balin / Ahsoka rematch, but dude, I gotta see Balin versus Ezra first.
Yeah, that would be sick. And I feel like at this point, yeah, there's so many ways it could go. I mean, we got Sabine too, so
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Ahsoka, now that she's Ahsoka the White, is just gonna cook even more, and then Ezra surely is just gonna be a beast.
Yeah, and I think that another thing is, the next episode I feel like is pretty cut, like pretty clear cut. They're going to be stuck on the planet. They're going to have to find a way off is probably what I'm guessing. But I mean, with the Purgil, it'll be pretty simple unless Thrawn somehow there's got to be some kind of tension there.
It's all going to come to a head when Ahsoka gets back, and it all depends on the timing of things. Thrawn may already be heading out when Ahsoka gets there, and then they're stranded. Which I feel like it's going to go more the route like Ahsoka will get back, run into Baylan and company, and then they'll try and get back and get on the ship before they go back.
Yeah, and that would definitely feel very Star Wars. Coontail Rattlesnake said, do y'all think that we'll see more of Ezra in something else even when the season ends or in Ahsoka season 2?
I think so.
Yeah, I definitely think so, especially if the reception to this episode and the reception to Ezra in general being back is good, and then the actor gets a lot of I guess hype. I definitely think we could see a project with Ezra in it for sure.
And I feel like the movie that Dave Filoni's directing, that's supposed to be the culmination of The Mandalorian and Boba Fett and all this stuff, is going to feature Ezra heavily.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Ezra is basically somebody dreamed up by Dave Filoni, almost as original as Ahsoka. So he's another one of Dave Filoni's top tier characters, I think.
Oh,
so there's no way Dave's letting him fly under the radar anymore. He's been under the radar for the last 6 or 7 years. So I think we'll definitely see him back in something. The question is what?
Yeah, I think for sure we could see Tales of the Jedi if they do. What was it, 6 episodes last time? 6 shorts.
Yeah.
3 of them being of Ezra on that planet.
Yeah.
And stuff he dealt with. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be sick. It would have to be. I don't know. They would have to introduce some kind of other kind of tension, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
because it sounds to me like Ezra and Thrawn, I guess, got separated and just never saw each other again after that.
Yeah. I also think that Thrawn was also throwing out a red herring, he's probably dead.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because and then he didn't want Sabine to know that he's actually tracking her just so he can kill Ezra. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's kind of been looking for Ezra this whole time, and just couldn't get him, dude.
Well, I mean, you heard Ezra. The people or the Noti people that he's with are just they're nomads. They move around,
and they're rocks. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. I guess Ezra's not a rock, but he does rock. If you know what I mean, he's that guy for sure. Dude. But I just want to know what you think about his actor, though. I know we kind of talked about this earlier, but for the people who just joined us, what do you think about Ezra's actor? Did you feel like he was pretty similar to his Rebels character?
Yeah, I did. And also, you got to think, the same thing with Ahsoka. I mean, it's been so long since we've seen him at all. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's definitely, very wise now.
Yeah.
And I feel like we heard that in his response. But also, I feel like some of the things he said felt like Ezra, too, still.
Yeah, and mannerisms felt kind of like Ezra as well. His reintroduction, I thought it was going to be something a little bit different, but I think it ended up working out because she had gone through the whole village and she was like, bro, he's not even here. I got my hopes up for no reason. And he was like, I knew you'd come looking for me. So,
and it felt very Star Wars, too, that he was just kind of leaning on a hut.
Yeah.
She turned around and he was there. I feel like he was just, in the Force. I feel like he's just been residing in the Force, basically, for a lot of his departure.
Yeah, hopefully, dude. He better be insane with the Force. That would be amazing, man. But I mean, back to the conversation about where they go. I kind of agree with your take on this about how the next episode's going to go. But I do feel like they need to make it back to our galaxy by the time before the episode ends. I think they need to be back in our galaxy, coming up with a game plan by the time the episode ends. I just feel like that's the only way that it's not going to feel super rushed.
Yeah.
Which Star Wars finales haven't been Andor was a good finale. What else was a good finale? What other Star Wars? Kenobi, meh. What other Star Wars shows am I thinking about? Book of Boba Fett was pretty good. Managed the fact that Cad Bane died.
Yeah, he's not dead.
Yeah, sure.
I don't believe it, dude.
Yeah, I feel like they've all been pretty good, but we also haven't seen a show that I feel like has been so well paced to the point where it feels like it has a lot of room to breathe, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, because a lot of the finales have felt rushed. I can agree with that. So yeah, I mean, Mando season 3, kind of the same way. Even though there was a lot of cool scenes, I did enjoy that finale.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this one, it'll air out a lot of things in the next one, clear up some things, so that way the finale has room to work.
Yeah, and it definitely needs that. If it feels rushed, I just feel like the finale makes the season. You know, you can start off good, but as Tripoli says, the winner ain't the one who's winning in the seventh inning, man. You gotta finish through the ninth inning. So hopefully this show finishes very strong. I'm hoping it does. And Coontail and Rattlesnake said, Ezra's Real gave me an almost Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi feel. Luke was different from Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi, older, more experienced. Ezra the same. That's actually a very, very solid point right there.
Yeah, I feel like I couldn't put my finger on it, but I think you just made a really good point. I think that's a solid point there. Couldn't tell what else.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it doesn't feel... I would say it kind of also feels very similar to Ahsoka when we see her in Clone Wars versus when we see her in Rebels. Like, she's a lot older. She's a lot more experienced. She's got the knowledge and wisdom behind her. And she's definitely more... Like, whereas in the Clone Wars, she was always the one that was learning, the one that was being taught. Now she was the one teaching Kanan. And, you know, because Kanan was still Padawan, and so was she, but she was a lot older than he was. So, I think it does feel it feels like Ezra's leveled up almost in a way, because that's kind of what happened to Luke in Return of the Jedi. He leveled up. He became a Jedi Knight. So, hopefully we get to see that with Ezra, although he hasn't had a lightsaber practice with, which is very sad.
I was thinking that too. But I feel like he's just gonna cook, dude.
Yeah,
he's gonna cook. Get that man a lightsaber.
And I would not feel bad, honestly, if he just picked up the lightsaber and just remembered everything. Like,
I feel like he's gonna have to knock the rust off a little bit. Maybe that's why he's gonna have to fight.
He's gonna have to open up with maybe like a Shinhati type fight. You know, not that Shinhati's bad or anything, but just not quite a Balin type fight yet. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Ezra. I feel like he's gonna be strong with the Force, but lightsaber combat, it might take him a second.
Yeah, and I think another thing that we haven't really mentioned is we've talked about, you know, Sabine as a Jedi, and in fact the Night Sisters recognize the fact that she reeked of Jedi, which is pretty interesting to me, and I love how they keep on doing the tropes. How they keep on doing the tropes where she's like trying to use the Force and then it's like something happens to make her feel like she's doing it. But I feel like now that Ezra's back, it gives her the freedom to be the character that she actually is and not somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like...
not that she couldn't be a Jedi, but I don't feel like that's who she is.
I don't know. I feel like, it's been an interesting road for her, but I feel like she'll end up somewhere in the middle, maybe, like a Jedi who doesn't use the Force, or that much, but I don't know. I feel like, even when we saw her use the lightsaber in this episode, she was cooking a little bit, but I don't know. And I feel like Ezra could, kind of like Ahsoka last episode when she saw Anakin, it kind of like refreshed her. Maybe seeing Ezra will do the same for her. But
yeah, I mean, she didn't instantly look happier. So
yeah. But
now there's that whole tension where between her and Ezra, she's not willing to tell him that. Like, he's like, "Oh, I'm so ready to go home," but she's like, "It doesn't look like we will." So
our only way home is Thrawn.
Yeah, and I do hate to ask this question because this might trigger some people. But what do you think the relationship is between them?
Right now,
do you think it's strictly brother sister, or
right now I think it is for sure. I mean, at least, and it should be.
For sure. I agree.
At least, you know, and I hope we see each of them in a lot more projects, because there's a lot more to their characters still. I feel like so. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Maybe by the end of the road, but for now and for like the foreseeable future, I feel like they should be brother sister type thing.
Yeah,
it's been so long. I mean, I feel like they just have to catch up.
He gave us this side eye emoji. I just have to ask because I've seen people on Twitter like say no, and I understand that too. But,
I mean, Ezra, I feel like at the beginning he was definitely like crushing on her
for sure. Yeah, but I always thought she was like 25 though. So, it always kind of felt weird to me. I'm like, dude, you never have a shot with her. She's like way older than you. But then I figured out she wasn't that old.
But also Ezra is like a completely. I mean, he's probably very changed from that point.
Yeah.
As a character and as a person, so I want to see more character development from both of them. Not that they haven't had any, but before any of that happens or even gets like thrown in at all.
I think a cool show is if they bring back all of the rebels and they kind of do like a Guardians of the Galaxy type thing with the rebels. I think that would be a pretty fun show. You know. Yeah. He said, I think if we see that I think if we see that, it wouldn't be in this series. It would be too early, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, we definitely concur with that. I just don't know if we'll see it at all. Just I feel like fan backlash would be so intense, dude. Because there's some fans that are just like, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Dave Filoni could pull it off. Like Kuntal Rattlesnake said, like later down the road if he wanted to, but I don't know if that's a way he wants to go. We kind of shipped Ezra and Shinhati, didn't we?
Yeah, we did ship Ezra. And I think as soon as Shinhati lays her eyes on Ezra, and vice versa,
dude.
Dude, I think that's an automatic. I think it's an automatic ship. Were you talking about Ezrati, or no? Wait, what was it? Ezrin or something, or Shezra? I think Shezra kind of works.
Yeah, that kind of works, dude. I mean, I can see that. I mean, I can feel the tension, and they've never met each other. So.
Dude, yeah, definitely. Oh man, that would be sick, dude.
I can feel the tension from you and Shin, dude, through the screen.
Dude, Shinhati's kind of she's nice. So she's a very good character.
She really is. She's interesting. So
yeah, she really is. Like for real, she is an interesting character because of like the dynamic she has with Balin. And they're actually in an interesting situation. I don't think we've really talked about that at all, but they're being approached by bandits right now. So and she was like all ready to pull out her lightsaber and destroy them, but he's like, no, if they're not our enemy, they're our friend. Like, or the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That could be the warm up for Ezra.
Yeah, a couple bandits. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ahsoka's gonna get there, and she's basically just gonna.
She would wreck everybody.
Yeah, I mean, except for I guess Balin.
Except for Balin, that would be a pretty fair fight.
Yeah, I feel like. And it makes sense too, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, Ahsoka should kill almost everybody. Like, there's nobody quite her level. But Balin being an ex-order mercenary definitely makes sense to the fact as to why he was able to go toe-to-toe with her for sure. Yeah. And win.
And I still feel like if they rematched, Ahsoka would win because I feel like a weight's been lifted off her shoulders. So
yeah, one last lesson, man. That's what we talked about.
Last lesson.
Yeah, that episode was still so good, man.
Do you think we see our boy Zeb, dude, at all?
What the heck was that?
We haven't seen Zeb. I thought for sure since they, what was that, Mando Season 3 they put him in, we'd see him.
He said, Kuntal and Rattlesnake said, hot take, but Ahsoka is better than Prime Anakin. This Ahsoka now or Ahsoka, like, obviously I guess you're talking about now, like Ahsoka the White.
But we have to figure out, like, what, because I feel like it's kind of a debate, like Prime Anakin.
In my opinion, I don't think anybody. There are very few people I think that could beat Prime Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect.
I definitely respect it. Yeah,
we love Ahsoka, one of my favorite characters. But it would be interesting to see because I feel like that was kind of Prime Anakin in the world between worlds. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he was like trying to teach her a lesson more so than like trying to defeat her. So. It would be interesting. That's another what if scenario.
You said because of the episode where they fought. Like kind of like he was saying. That's a fair takeaway from that episode. The fact that she won in the fight, but I also kind of feel like, if Anakin really wanted to win, he was gonna win.
I feel like the win for Anakin in that episode was
her learning.
Yeah,
that's
definitely all he wanted. But it would be interesting to see. I mean, Ahsoka. We're very high on Ahsoka's ability.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. I think Ahsoka could go toe to toe with anybody in the galaxy. I think she beat Maul when she was a teenager. So
that's another thing we didn't talk about in the last live stream is like seeing a live action Ahsoka really put into perspective how young she was.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about.
He said, "Yeah, Anakin Solos." I was just curious what y'all's opinion was. Yeah, I mean, we're. It's not that we're up in the air about it. I'm pretty solid on Anakin, but once again, we understand why you would have that opinion because Ahsoka is definitely top tier for sure.
Yeah.
She's. I mean, I think she could go. I mean, we know Luke right now is kind of also top tier Jedi form. I think she could still go toe to toe with Luke, no problem. You know?
I agree.
Especially with the way that and now that she has the burden lifter off her shoulders, it kind of reminds me of. I don't know. Now that she has the burden lifter off her shoulders, I feel like she definitely fights with a more free type mentality. Almost kind of like when she came back against Maul. There wasn't really much of a weight on her anymore because she wasn't like fighting a war. Like this was just something personal she was doing.
And you gotta think like the Inquisitors she's defeated in like 1 second for each of them.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other Jedi quite do that.
Yeah. And a lot of them were former Jedi. The Inquisitors were so.
Yeah.
Using the dark side as well. So I mean that kind of makes him even stronger.
I mean, heck, she's defeated in multiple Inquisitors without even using a lightsaber. So,
dude, that's how you know she can cook, bro.
Yeah, bro, she's literally Walter White sometimes, like in her bag. You said something about let's couldn't tell Rattlesnake. We want your opinion on this, and whoever else is watching right now. You said something about Kanan being the perfect Jedi. Can you expound on that?
Oh, my phone's recording.
Oh.
I saw a comment the other day that put into words how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But I feel like he wasn't like overbearing on the laws, and he really cared about Ezra to the point, and he sacrificed his life for the Ghost Crew. So
yeah.
I feel like he's just the perfect Jedi. When I think of perfect Jedi, I think of Qui-Gon and Kanan. Really, those and Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
If you consider Ahsoka a Jedi at this point.
Yeah, I mean, she says I am no Jedi, but that was a while ago. So
it was a while ago. Yeah, those are the three.
Maybe she spoke rashly. We don't know. He said, what was the question? He said something about Kanan being the perfect Jedi, or like the ideal Jedi, I guess is what we're kind of going for. So what is your take on that necessarily? Like, do you think he was, if you picture a Jedi, do you picture Kanan? Because you say Qui-Gon and
Qui-Gon, Kanan, and Ahsoka. Those are my three.
I think a sneaky pick is Obi-Wan too.
Yeah, Obi-Wan. Yeah.
He said solid take. Yeah, that's a W take according to Coontail Rattlesnake, dude.
Yeah, I mean those are and definitely Obi-Wan. He's up there too. Those are really the top four for me. I mean
if you really think about it, Obi-Wan is definitely the best. He said him and Qui-Gon are very similar. Oh, for sure, no doubt.
I feel like there's two different types of Jedi. You have Obi-Wan more by the books.
Yeah.
And then Kanan embodies what it is, like the heart of a Jedi.
To care, yeah.
And then you have on each side of the spectrum, like Qui-Gon on this far end of Kanan, and then Mace Windu on the other side of by the books. And then in between you have Obi-Wan and Kanan.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess your Jedi-ness is on a spectrum.
Yeah, it just depends on how you look at it. To me, there's what embodies the heart of a Jedi, and then the law in a way.
Yeah, that I kind of understand.
And Ahsoka really is kind of in the middle, because she, to me, embodies the heart of it perfectly. I mean, she is a Jedi.
Yeah, but she gets the heart from Anakin too. That's a big thing. She got the heart from Anakin, but she also got the rules from Obi-Wan. She got a bit of both. So she definitely has that kind of dynamic going on. But Coontail Rattlesnake says, sounds like a bandwagon, but I feel like Luke is the pinnacle of what Jedi we're supposed to be. No, that's a respectable opinion.
That's a good point. The thing with Luke is I agree with you, especially Mandalorian Luke.
Yeah.
But when I think of Last Jedi Luke, which really I don't when I think of Luke. I mean, he threw away the lightsaber and stuff like that, which that's kind of tough. But I agree with you. Prime Luke, which I feel has been in the Mandalorian, we'll see more of, I think was meant to be the extension of Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
What the extension of Anakin would be if he
if Anakin had never turned the dark side, it would have been Luke, pretty much. And definitely a more Sully's just joining. Heck yeah.
Sully, how far?
Yeah, we're 43 minutes in.
My phone might die.
Sully, you're a little bit late. It's just like your dad at the fantasy draft, man. It's a little bit late. You said I don't count Disney's trio as canon. So
okay, I mean, if you discount those three movies, Luke is really kind of the perfect Jedi, especially Mandalorian Luke.
Yeah.
Like we said, the extension of Anakin.
And not that I understand them wanting to be kind of bold with Luke's.
I mean, I get it. If with you like the storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I get The Last Jedi is hated on, and I definitely don't like it. But I also do respect the fact that they did do some interesting things. They did try to make some interesting choices, which is very Rian Johnson-esque.
Which I feel is cool to do, but not with Luke.
Ooh, that's a good point. Hold up. What'd you say? That
I feel it was cool what they did, with the idea of what they did with Luke, but I feel they shouldn't have done it with Luke.
Yeah.
Because
he's too iconic of a character to do it.
Yeah, and he was meant to be what Anakin was if he didn't turn. So.
Yeah, exactly. He said Sully joining at the end of the live. Sully, you're getting trolled by Sully, you're getting trolled by everybody. No, seriously, thanks for joining the live stream. But he says, Sully said, "Have y'all discussed the possibility of Ezra shutting himself off from the Force to avoid detection?"
Ooh, that's kind of what Obi. Well, yeah, all the Jedi
Yeah.
had to do that survived.
I've actually never thought. I didn't think about that. What do you make of that, Sully? Where'd you get that from? I know you didn't think of that.
So, so when I think of is like why Kenobi had to do that is because like the Inquisitors would detect him instantly.
Yeah.
So is there someone on that planet? Probably, I guess the Great Mothers would be able because they sniffed out Sabine.
Yeah,
That's a good point because there's no Inquisitors, but the Great Mothers sniffed out Sabine.
Yeah.
So they would probably be able to sniff out Ezra.
Yeah, I was about to say like from our point of view, like in the galaxy that we're used to. I mean, why would he have to do that? Because there's nobody close enough. But now that we know that, he says my head.
Attaboy.
Yeah, and the three mothers could detect him. Yeah, that's what he was just saying. So, I definitely.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. Honestly, we didn't think about that.
And that would
beforehand.
make sense too, because we were saying Ezra's going to cook next episode, but maybe he gets cooked and Ahsoka has to come in.
Yeah.
And he has to like relearn how to use the Force. Which Kenobi did pretty quick in that show. And then he cooked Vader.
Dude, no joke, man. Kenobi just holds up his hands and 700 rocks go flying at Darth Vader. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't know if I want that to be true though.
Yeah, we've been kind of hyping up Ezra, and then Sully comes in there and drops a pretty good point.
Yeah, you might have ruined our theories, but I guess that's what you're here for. You know, you're there to bring us back down to earth.
That makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, especially I feel like maybe they threw that in there with Sabine to make it make sense if they go that route.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that makes a lot of sense too. He says, because why else wouldn't he detect Force users entering the planet? It's not necessarily like I get that, but also he was speaking the language of the people that he was with, whereas he could have just used the Force to communicate with them, like he used to with animals. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't necessarily have to know the language. You can use the Force.
That's a good point. I feel like maybe he could have detected Sabine and Ahsoka when she's still on the way, but
yeah. And Coontail Rattlesnake says, I feel like they'll hold off on Ezra cooking towards towards the end. Yeah, now that I think about it, now that I think about it, I think that makes a lot more sense. But we were just riding the emotional high.
Yeah, because I didn't think about the Great Mothers, dude. That makes a lot of sense.
Do you think they have to take down the Great Mothers though? Do you think there's a fight there, or do you think
that would be interesting because the fights we all saw in Clone Wars were kind of sick.
Yeah, I mean, well, Dathomirian witches are kind of an interesting. They're not a common foe in these days.
And I feel like they know what it takes to take down a Jedi. So
yeah, no doubt about that. But I would love to see something like that. He says he also has no idea what Thrawn is doing. Yeah, that's also very odd. Like he is kind of lost in the dark right now.
Yeah, I feel like he's just kind of on the run, man. I mean, like he has to be, I guess. But that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
So you might have cooked with that. You might have cooked with that for real. Oh, that makes me sad though, dude. What would you? He says
Ezra will start cooking by the end though, like Coontail said.
I may be most intrigued about what the great power is, or greater power. Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. Like, I wonder if they're gonna bring in maybe like because I know like the Yuzon Vong existed in a different galaxy, right? So maybe it could be that. I have no idea. I don't know what Balin's going for, and that's kind of the most intriguing. Not the most intriguing, but one of the most intriguing parts of this episode is what is Balin exactly talking about? And we've kind of, I don't know if we've really said our theories, but we've kind of briefly talked about it. So
it could be anything. I don't know.
Or his Phoenix. What do you mean by that? So Coontail and Rattlesnake said, or his Phoenix. What do you mean by or his Phoenix? Like,
I guess he's referring to Balin.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many ways they could go with that.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything, man.
Dude, yeah. I mean, and that's a cool. That's why I feel like it was good that they did that though, because now it really. So far, as we had seen. Sorry, controller disconnected. I don't know what happened. So far, we had seen our characters going on a straight line with Thrawn, but now it seems like Shin and Balin are breaking off, and so we'll see them probably go down first. Like if villains are going to go down, they're going to go down first as they work their way back to the galaxy. So
yeah. And now we got a lot to go up against. I mean, you got the bandits that were hired out by Balin and Shin, and Balin and Shin. The Great Mothers,
Yeah.
Enoch, Thrawn, the army.
The Shadow Warriors or whatever they're called.
Moff Gideon.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think, because he's still alive.
Dude, he says, or Sully said, can't wait for the major cliffhanger next week that drives me crazy for a whole week. Yeah. Micah was actually talking about how he thinks all of the episodes should be released on one day. So I just feel like it keeps people coming back. Yeah. I'm just happy the show's doing well. That's what I'm really happy about.
That's what matters at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I'm waiting on Kuntel and Rattlesnake to explain Orhis Phoenix. Wait.
No way, dude. No way. What?
Heck no, Micah crazy for that. Kuntel and Rattlesnake? Yeah, no. Micah is crazy for that. Bro, okay, we need to... Dude, is this... I'm so confused right now. Did you pick up what I'm putting down? What do you mean by Orhis Phoenix?
Bro, is this JS?
No. Is it JS?
Oh, it's Frank. That's why I said Frank.
Oh, duh. John, literally, we had no idea this was you. Oh, that makes so much more sense now. Well, anyway, thanks for...
It's Phoenix, dude. Yeah, it could be.
Dude, I love how that's how I picked that up finally, dude. It's like, what do you mean by Orhis Phoenix? Oh, man. Sully's probably so lost right now. No. Wait, what did...
That's hilarious. It's Phoenix.
Bruh. Dude, I had no idea that was you. That makes so much more sense now. I feel like they'll hold off on Ezra cooking till the end. Greater power. Where did that come from? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
we're talking about Balin's Phoenix, dude. And I bet you it's a big one, dude.
Yeah.
It's a big Phoenix.
Yeah. Gosh. Oh, man. That makes so much more sense now. Well, I mean, John, we're thankful to have you here. So.
That's so funny, dude.
He says he's rolling. How did I not know that was? Did you know it was him?
No, we started. It was like, tell Frank we said hi.
I was like, this is the only Frank we know. Yeah, no, we do know. Sully said, he said, who's John? Whatever. Whatever. All right. Sully said, good episode. Yes, we agree. He said, not every episode can be a non-stop action. Tell Micah that, dude. Like,
what was Sully? Weren't you the one saying that for all the other shows?
Yeah. Now you kind of sound like a hypocrite.
John Samuel.
Yeah, JS. Dude, that makes so much more... I love how that was how we picked that up.
The Phoenix.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking like Phoenix Squadron.
Yeah, I was like maybe his resurrection, because that's what Phoenix is about. But anyway, that makes no sense.
Dude, that's hilarious, man. That has me weak.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be something big, though.
Yeah. For sure, man.
Maybe that's why John said that, but...
John, were you cooking whenever you said that? John, what were you cooking whenever you said that?
Dude, I'm pretty sure he told me about that YouTube channel, too. Him and,
he says, Sully said, well, if it's not action-packed, it needs to be interesting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah... And I feel like they've done well with that, though. In the episodes where he says the Bad Batch walking around talking wasn't interesting. I agree. Like, I feel like it kind of got better toward the end. But this, like, the lore is so heavy. And it's really interesting to the fact that, like, I'm interested regardless of what's happening. And I feel like you have to win viewers over for them to be willing to accept episodes like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point with the lore thing. I mean, it was interesting even though it wasn't action-packed.
Yeah.
We had like one fight scene, and also my favorite part was when Thrawn walked down, like you mentioned earlier, kind of like reminiscent of Vader and the Death Star or something. So yeah,
dude, Kuntel was cooking there for a minute, and it all makes sense now. I'm still stuck on that, dude.
Yeah, this is like a Scooby Doo reveal.
Yeah, it was you the whole time. Oh man, especially when you said the Ezra's reveal gave me almost a Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi feel. I was like, dude, Rattlesnake is cooking right now. Oh, man. John, it's good to have you here. We wish you literally could be here.
Yeah, man, we can be sitting right here, dude.
Yeah, dude, that was our best live stream so far. But wow, that moment when you realize we need to go back and watch that.
The whole time we were oblivious.
Dude, our obliviousness needs to be studied. What if this actually wasn't John?
No, he told me about that YouTube channel.
Yeah,
so that's hilarious.
Yeah, you tried to get away with it, but it ain't gonna work. He says my Force Ghost is there. Heck yes.
Yeah,
Heck yes.
Oh, there really though. Dude, he's sitting in the middle still.
John, you're really still sitting in the middle right now because of Papa Frank. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all of our myriad of thoughts that we've had.
My phone's gonna explode probably here in the next couple minutes. So.
Yeah, my computer's gonna die here in the next couple minutes as well, and I need to get home because I gotta go tutor at 6:30 tomorrow morning. So, we're gonna go ahead, dude. BoomShot and Star Wars Theory collab. I wish, man. That would be fire. He is one of our friends, definitely. Star Wars Theory is, but yeah, definitely. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, John, for watching, and Sully for joining 43 minutes late. We're glad to have both of y'all here. Wait, heck, we need to get both of y'all on. Y'all are most loyal fans, but then who's gonna watch the stream? So it's an existential question we think about. But anyway, let us know what you guys thought of the episode. He says later, soldiers. Yeah, hey, John's a soldier too.
Dude, big soldier.
Yeah, I'm not a soldier for real. I'm not that kind of guy, but I can program. But anyway,
we appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night, man.
Anyway, see y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Oh man, that really does need to be studied.